When I practice charisma, everyone loves me, but only a shallow amount. When I do all the charisma things, such as compliment, help open people up, make them feel comfortable, listen thoughtfully, be the person running the conversation, etc., those relationships don't feel very close or personal. It feels like everyone falls in love with what I provide, not with me, and when I turn it off, they go home. It feels like girls only like hanging out and guys like the parties and meetups I throw, but nothing deeper. Do I need to find better people, or am I less charismatic than I think? I'm a Christian 20-year-old male.
Well, my brain is here because I just mentioned this, but you might be doing the charisma thing from like the fun perspective, but I wonder if you're getting into values. So people can connect on multiple levels. You can vibe with people and they will want to vibe with you as long as the vibes are good. What the vibe can then build is enough time and enough interest to move one of those like bantery questions into values. So we were talking to people about snowboarding. You could just make jokes about snowboarding or talk about a trip that you'll take one day or tell a funny story about snowboarding. Or you could say, how your dad used to take you snowboarding and it made you really close to him. It's been, he died recently, but it's the one thing that you do that like really feels like connects you to him. Right. And then, he's like, oh my, then you can talk about some stuff that connects people more deeply, reveals the values that drive them, and is more likely to have a connection after the party is stopped. And we were more likely to make people stick around.
I don't know if this is true or not, but one piece of pop psychology that has been passed around is also that men tend to get together over activities, common activities. I don't know if it's true or not, but in terms of, I have friends, but they come to the party, but when I turn the charisma off, they leave. I don't know what other activities you're inviting them to, but I think shared interests are where a lot of male friendships start.
Yeah.
And so, okay, you're not throwing a party, but are you going to play basketball together? Are you going to go surfing together? Do they like D&D and you like D&D? They like League of Legends and you like League of Legends? I think that it's not uncommon. I don't know what it's like to be a woman, so I have no idea how that works. But for me, at least, it's not uncommon for a friendship to start around that kind of stuff and then eventually come to like, you want to just get dinner? Hey, do you want to just come hang?
Sit.
Hey, do you want to just go
sit?
Exactly. And eventually it's just like, hey, just come spend time and be with each other. But it's not often the case that that's the second time I'll see someone. I'll meet someone in a bar and then be like, oh, hey, do you want to just come kick it? It'll often be surfing, basketball, jiu-jitsu, League of Legends, something of that nature that is the baby step towards, a more just doesn't need any other excuse to hang out type friendship.
Yeah. And I think those two bridges might help you to think about, which is, okay, start with activities, which will naturally have conversation with moves towards interactions that are more just chilled conversations, sitting on a couch or whatever. And also starts with fun vibe type bantery conversations, super open, super charismatic, and moves towards learning about them. Like the truth, people often, I think, misconstrue the charisma point, because a lot of the first questions where people ask, what do you do? I'll be like, you don't even have to answer this literally. You can be playful. You can make up a job. You can talk about anything. The point is not never to address what you do, how you spend your day. It's just not to front load it, because it's boring to somebody that isn't interested in actually who you are.
Unless you can frame it as an interesting, with an interesting angle.
But at some point, you could talk about your accounting job and those sorts of things, and sort of like locate yourself in this person's real universe if you start with some of that fun stuff that is more likely to make them invested in connecting with you.
For me, it's often meet them once, shared activity second, food afterwards third. So it's not uncommon for me to be just like, hey, you want to go surfing? You surf. You're not really talking that much. You're just doing the surfing. Or like, hey, you want to go play basketball? And you just go play 5-on-5. There's no real connection besides the shared activity. And then after, it's like, oh, you want to go grab food? And now you're just in a 1-on-1 2-hour hangout. You know what I mean? Which is a very intimate way to form a friendship.
Sure.
So that's been it for me, as far as I can think of in the last couple years.
Dope.
All right, next is, the guys at the parties I go to often dismiss some of the less pretty girls as not worth my time. But after they hear me talk to the girl and discover how interesting she's made her life, they end up falling in love and asking me to help them get the girl, and in a lot of cases, steal them away.
Oh man.
I feel like I do a lot of the legwork and lose out to keep our friendship stable. It doesn't leave me full of resentment as much as I'm filled with a lot of loneliness. What's happening here and how do I change it? Or is this actually a good situation to be in?
No, that is nonsense.
Just don't. Wait, if you're talking to a woman and you like her and your friend says, hey, I want you to set me up with her, just say, nah,
I like her.
I like her.
Well,
I'm going to set me up with her.
One thing that we established in our group, which a lot of groups don't have, and it gets cutthroat because we saw this. Here's what happens. You're at a group party, exactly what you described. There's a bunch of people around. Dudes, in order to protect their egos and not admit their fear, say, there's no one here I want to talk to. This place is ugly, whatever. One of the friends works up the courage or just doesn't, isn't intimidated or maybe even just talk to someone that they're not attracted to. Goes up into an interaction. It goes well. That friend would teleport right next to them and insert themselves in this interaction.
And try to steal the attention.
Try to steal the attention and often do it in a way that would even sometimes cut out the legs. Be like, oh, how do you know this loser? Type. Like, it's just the worst thing. And so I saw that. I saw it creep into people on the edge of our friend group. And very early, we're like, here's the rules. If anybody talks to a group of people, guy, girl, or otherwise, they get to dictate if there was any exclusive relationships coming out of them, they get the first shot at it. Meaning, if there's a date that comes out of it, you have to ask that guy who's talked to the group if he would like that date or if
you're saying this a little bit weird, but basically, like, if I see Charlie talking to a bunch of women, I would go up and try to understand if Charlie was interested in one of them before I would go and try to form a flirtatious connection with them. It was just considered very poor form for me to enter into the group, try to get all the attention, try to go on a date with whoever I wanted without checking in with my friend who had initiated the conversations. Yeah. That was just a rule set we had for going out was don't be a dick. If someone starts a conversation with someone, try to figure out why. And if it's because they're attracted to them, don't try to steal the girl that your friend is attracted to.
So I don't think your friends are going to be open to that because they only stand to lose given their behavior. You know what I mean? If you're like, hey.
But it sounds like they're checking in with you, though. Correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like they're
asking you to do something for them.
Hey, can you hook me up with that girl you're talking to? She seems really cool. To which I would just say,
no.
Oh, no, man, I actually am interested in that person. So I'm good on that. Thanks, though.
Yeah, you sound like you might have some deeply internalized people-pleasing tendencies. That you think that your friendships are predicated on you not saying no when your friend asks for something that they want from you. And I imagine it comes out in other areas of your life as well where you feel like you need to say yes in order to maintain a relationship. That's not the case. And if that is the case with these particular people, you will need to form new relationships because, you need relationships where you can say no sometimes to giving them what they have asked for. And in this case, it's totally reasonable. And the relationship can persist. So, just say no, exactly like
and I guess the one thing I would say, in case you don't realize this, is it's totally fine to say, oh, I don't want to help you to flirt with this woman. I'm actually interested in this woman. So better if you just let me hang out with her. Thanks, dude. That's not bad form on your part.
No, that's totally reasonable. Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.